Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice to get you through the long nights. The long night is almost over and shit's about to get real, and we have a lot to talk about. So Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire have my favorite, Direwolves and Dragons. And low-key, no one's death in the show has made me more emotional than Lady, Greywind, Summer, Shaggy Dog, and Viserion. Thinking about it, I just want to cry now. But anyway, season 8 is coming up, and I figured I would do a video on the Direwolves and Dragons and questions that people have had about them and what we can expect from them in Game of Thrones season 8. In the trailer, Rhaegal and Drogon have arrived to Winterfell, and we know that Ghost is somewhere in Winterfell. We haven't seen Ghost since Game of Thrones season 6, #FreeGhost, but we do know that he is in Winterfell because in season 7, Sansa basically says that Ghost is waiting around for Jon, and Jon can't expect the North to do that as well.
But they couldn't leave the North and expect it to just sit and wait for him like Ghost.
Also, Brian Cogman tweeted during season 7 that they had filmed a scene of Jon and Ghost. It's basically Jon's goodbye to Ghost, where Jon tells Ghost to protect Sansa, but the scene was cut. I don't know why. #FreeGhost. Ghost is in Winterfell, and we have confirmation that we will see Ghost in Game of Thrones season 8. Game of Thrones Game of Thrones visual effects supervisor Joe Barrow confirmed to Huffington Post that they will be freeing Ghost. And quote, "Oh, you'll see him again. He has a fair amount of screen time in season 8. So not only will we see Ghost, we're going to see a lot of Ghost. The Direwolves are like my biggest complaint when it comes to the TV show versus the books. I know. But in the books, Summer and Shaggy Dog are still alive, and Arya is a warg. Arya can warg into Nymeria while Arya is all the way in Bravos, and Nymeria is in the Riverlands. Arya is a powerful warg, and also the Direwolves are just as much a part of the story of House Stark as the dragons are to House Targaryen. But I digress. So Ghost is in Winterfell. The dragons are in Winterfell. What is that meeting gonna be like? Will Ghost like the dragons? Will the dragons like Ghost? Do they even meet? I don't foresee any issues between Ghost and the dragons. Ghost is a part of Jon, and Jon is a part of Ghost. The whole warg, sharing skins, shadows on the soul bond. So I know that they will get along. I just know it in my heart. They're gonna get along. They're gonna be besties. Now, someone in the comments asked me about this theory that Ghost has to die in order for Jon to ride Rhaegal. I don't know whose theory that is, but it's absurd. I don't want to hear nothing about Ghost dying, and that's the real tea. In my opinion, nothing supports the idea that Ghost has to die in order for Jon to ride Rhaegal. I don't think dragon riding and warging are the same at all, and I don't see why Ghost would need to die in order for Jon to ride a dragon. I don't know. Now, let's talk about dragon riding really quick. So the theory is that Jon is going to ride a dragon. He's a Targaryen. Drogon likes him. He's like the hero and blah, 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 blah. I personally don't need Jon to ride a dragon. If he does, okay, but I don't need him to do it. Longclaw and Ghost already make him a badass. It already makes Jon a hero. And if you just add a dragon, then we get superhero. But I actually do think that Jon or someone is gonna ride Rhaegal. Now, I say this because a dragon without a rider directing him or her is actually pretty dangerous. And we have been shown examples of that during the Dance of Dragons. And also with Drogon and Meereen. Now, the theory is that Jon is going to ride Rhaegal because Rhaegal is the dragon that Daenerys named after her brother, Rhaegar, which is Jon's father. So when it comes to dragon riding, who can ride a dragon is actually ambiguous. The common belief is that you need to have Targaryen blood to ride a dragon, but there is evidence that you don't need Valyrian blood to ride a dragon. The case with Sheepstealer is Nettles is thought to be a Valyrian bastard, but she basically gets Sheepstealer to like her by bringing him sheep to eat. So I'm not sure if you have to be a Targaryen to ride a dragon. I'm not convinced of that. I'm doing some in-depth research on that, but that's going to be a book theory, and I'm probably not going to get in that till after Game of Thrones. So there was some foreshadowing that Jon would have a bond with the dragons. He interacted with Drogon, and also Drogon was circling around the wall like he knew Jon was coming at the end of season 7. There was also one other piece of evidence that Jon would have or does have some kind of unspoken bond with Rhaegal. It happens real quick and it might not mean anything, but let me show you anyway. So when Viserion is killed, we get this big loud scream from Drogon. Now, Jon doesn't turn around until we get the scream from Rhaegal. It's like he heard Rhaegal and turned around. I'll show you the clip so you can see it for yourself. So we get the scream from Rhaegal, and then Jon turns around. He never turns around when Drogon or Viserion is hollering. It's just when Rhaegal starts hollering, he turns around. Also, fun fact, the sound effect lady for Game of Thrones said that the dragon roars come from turtle sex orgasms. About dragon sex. If you look at this photo of Rhaegal and Drogon, Drogon is a lot bigger than Rhaegal. It almost looks as if Rhaegal could be a girl. Now, according to Maester Aemon, the dragons are unisex and they can change their sex to hatch eggs. So we could get a clutch of dragon eggs being laid in Winterfell, which harks back to another theory about a fourth dragon, a dragon in the crypts of Winterfell. According to Mushroom, Vermax laid a clutch of eggs in the crypts of Winterfell while Cragen Stark was negotiating the Pact of Ice and Fire. Also, Bran is like warging inside of Summer and actually sees a dragon above Winterfell, but we can't say for sure what Bran saw, but I'll read you the quote. The smoke and ash clouded his eyes, and in the sky he saw a great winged snake whose roar was a river of flame. He bared his teeth, but then the snake was gone. Now, with that said, I don't think there will be a fourth dragon in season 8. Mainly because I think they killed off Viserion specifically so the Night King could get the fourth dragon without there being 4 dragons on the show because CGI is expensive. Like CGI for the dragons, it's probably an astronomical amount. In the books, I think the Night King will get a dragon, but not Viserion. And speaking of Viserion, like, are the other dragons safe? What's gonna happen to the dragons in season 8? I'm really hoping that Gendry will forge the dragons some badass dragon armor. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I do want to say that there has been too much foreshadowing about the Dance of Dragons for us not to get a Dance of Dragons type of thing. In my opinion, Viserion will face off against Rhaegal and Drogon. Now, the thing is, dragon versus dragon combat is awful. It almost always ends badly. The closest example that we have that I think is going to occur is Meleys and Rhaenys versus Aegon and Sunfire and Aemon and Vhagar. Meleys roared, smoke swirling from her nostrils, a stallion kicking in her jaws as tongues of fire engulfed him. Then came an answering roar. 2 more winged shapes appeared. The king astride Sunfire the Golden, and his brother Aemon upon Vhagar. Christian Cole had sprung his trap, and Rhaenys had come snatching at the bait. Now the teeth closed around her. Princess Rhaenys made no attempt to flee. With a glad cry and a crack of a whip, she turned Meleys toward the foe. Against Vhagar alone, she might have had some chance. For the Red Queen was old and cunning and no stranger to battle. Against Vhagar and Sunfire together, doom was certain. The dragons met violently 1,000 feet above the field of battle, as balls of fire burst and blossomed, so bright that men swore later that the sky was full of suns. The crimson jaws of Meleys closed around Sunfire's golden neck for a moment, till Vhagar fell upon them from above. All 3 beasts went spinning toward the ground. They struck so hard the stones fell from the battlements of Rook's Rest, half a league away. Those closest to the dragons did not live to tell the tale. Those farther off could not see for the flame and smoke. It was hours before the fires gutted out, but from those ashes only Vhagar rose unharmed. Meles was dead, broken by the fall and ripped to pieces upon the ground. And Sunfire, that splendid golden beast, had one wing half torn from his body. So yeah, Drogon and Rhaegar are likely gonna bank Viserion and kill him, but at what cost? Drogon will likely be okay because he's way bigger, but Rhaegar could really get hurt in a Dance of Dragons like this. We're going to find out soon enough. We're going to see dragons fighting, direwolves fighting, and I'm not even going to be able to handle it if something happens to them. I'm not going to be able to handle it. I'm going to be a mess during my breakdown. But overall, I do not think that there will be any problems between Ghost and Rhaegar or Ghost and the dragons. And I'm actually really looking forward to them meeting in season 8. But what do you think? As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and join the Sweet Summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.